AKA Mr. Take It Easy. For you and easy. But make sure y'all follow my Instagram and Twitch, man. In the description down below. Everything you need to know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. But we got 3 disturbing true camping horror stories. Like I said, with me, camping, that's a no-go. You know what I mean? That is a no freaking go. You know what I mean? Going into the middle of the wilderness is something that I just never been a big fan of. You know what I mean? Honestly, there's nothing cool about camping. Nothing satisfied me about camping. There's nothing relaxing about camping. Cause like I said though, man. Like I said, man, you feel me? You know, same thing how I feel about the ocean. I feel about the freaking wilderness. I feel about the woods. We don't know what the freak is all in the ocean. We don't know what the freak all in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? You probably run into cults. You probably run into some type of creatures you never knew exist. You know what I mean? I told y'all I reacted to this vid, the top 10 most dangerous creatures that exist in the ocean. I'm talking, I seen some stuff, man, I thought I'd never seen. I couldn't believe certain things exist. So the ocean, I don't play with the ocean. I don't like that ocean, though. I don't like that ocean. I don't deal with that ocean, cuz. One thing about Jay, I ain't going in the ocean.
This experience happened to me in 2020. The world was shutting down because of COVID and everyone was...
Oh my God, 2020, man. That was low-key a underrated year, bro. I like 2020. I ain't gonna keep it real with you. I definitely like 2020. But like I said, for me, I told you I do what the freak I want to do. And I mean, I do what I want. You know what I mean? I go out when I want. So all that little curfew and all that. Oh, you got to be in by a certain time. You can't be outside, man. I'm still outside in COVID, man. I ain't never wore a mask and I ain't never caught COVID. I ain't never wore a mask in COVID and I ain't never wore a mask, nigga, and I caught COVID, nigga. Know what I'm saying? Straight up, bro. I feel like COVID was a lie. I ain't gonna cap. I feel like COVID was just like the flu or something. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I mean, some people, what you gonna be like? What you gonna be like, bro? People died off COVID, nigga. People died off the flu. What the freak, nigga? People died off the flu. I mean, I feel like it was like the flu. I don't feel like COVID was as dangerous as it was making it seem. Because I promise you, I ain't catch COVID. I ain't wearing no mask or nothing. That joint was pissing me off. Wear your mask. Like, nigga ain't wearing this mask, bro. That used to piss me off when I used to be working, bro. Yeah, you gotta wear your mask. And then y'all dumb niggas really got vaccinated. No telling what the heck is in you, bro. Nigga, we're getting millions of shots. Nigga, I ain't finna get vaccinated at all, nigga. Nigga, I ain't get vaccinated at all. I don't give a damn how much you say you paying. They finna put something in me, nigga. I'm crazy. It's talking about some vaccination. Man, nigga.
Cooped up in their homes. Being an avid backpacker and camper,
I used
COVID as an excuse to travel to different national parks.
You said some jobs force people to. That's your problem. You better quit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Freak, nigga. Give a dang if you force me, nigga. I quit, nigga. Freak wrong with you, nigga. You don't know what the freak you got in you, bro. The jump probably still inside you. Probably inject you with something. You finna trust the government, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You finna trust the government? You really trusting the government, bro? You really doing that? You know what I'm saying? I don't trust none of these niggas finna inject me with a vaccine. But stop.
Camp out in different places. One of those places...
F that job and F that vaccine. I would've quit that same day.
Without giving away my identity,
what the frick is this?
Revealing too much personal information. Let's just say something happened with my job
back
in 2019 that caused my reputation to kind of suffer a bit, and a good number of people despised me.
Look behind me right quick.
I had to change apartments, get a new phone number, and eventually quit my job. The mistake I made caused a good number of people to lose a lot of money, so the shitstorm was expected. I just didn't know how far it would go. I was literally getting harassed by different random...
You said, what if YouTube forced me to get... Oh my God, that nigga just said, what if YouTube forced me to get vaccinated? Freak, I'm gonna get vaccinated. We not even...
Random numbers for a while. Some texts were even threatening. I didn't know if...
How you gonna know I'm vaccinated or not? Like, you stupid, bro? You ain't sound smart, bro. Like, niggas think they be smiling smart or something. Like, bro, you dumb gang? Niggas saying I'm gonna get vaccinated with you, bro. Hey, bro, you not trolling. You dead to free serious. You stupid for real. You dead for real. You thought that was smart what you said. You dead for real. You ain't trolling. You ain't
from the
trolling.
same person or
Yeah, for real,
different
bro.
people each time, but I considered
Not
the
trolling. You a
possibility that
jackass.
there was one person texting me from a bunch of different numbers.
Jackass.
For a while it seemed to stop, and I was grateful that people seemed to lose interest or just move on. I wasn't working around this time, I was taking time to myself, hence another reason I was traveling around to different national parks. I drove the 3 hours to Rocky Mountain National Park, parked my truck, and started my hike up the trail to the creek. There was nobody else there. I'm sure that was because this was right when the lockdown started and people were taking it very seriously and not leaving their houses.
What lockdown?
And it was also still the winter time. There was a thin sheet of snow on the ground, hard enough that it made that loud crunching sound with every footstep. After a little while, I made it to the creek, and it wasn't frozen, it was still flowing. It was incredibly peaceful, and this was a detox I needed from the stresses of my life at the time. I found a place a little ways off the path to set up camp. After the tent was set up, I chopped up some wood, started a fire, and cooked some sausages on the stove. Then I started reading my book by the fire. After finishing a few chapters, it was getting dark out. Thank God for headlamps. I rolled a J and started smoking it. After a few hits, I felt my phone start going off. Honestly, apart from my family, I don't have a lot of people texting me, so I pulled out my phone from my jacket pocket and saw a bunch of texts from an unknown number. My heart skipped a beat when I realized it was happening again. The texts were from a number with the 203 area code, which I looked up to be Connecticut. Whoever it was texted me saying, "How's your camping going, buddy?"
The freak,
second text
nigga?
said, "It's beautiful out here." The third text said, "I see why you came up here." My default reaction was
They
to
got a
respond,
stalker.
"Who is this?" If they simply left it at "How's the camping going?" I would have assumed it was a family member, but they were sending messages as if they were here with me. The weed had already entered my system and I was definitely high.
Nigga high.
This did not help my anxiety one bit. I felt extremely paranoid and started looking around me, standing up and doing a complete 360, looking in every direction out to the increasingly darkening woods. I went to get my P365 handgun from my bag.
There you go.
to feel safer.
Let's get it.
Usually I'd put a fire out.
Freaking
call
go.
it
Let's
night.
bust hands
As
open.
paranoid as I was feeling now, the thought of being in total darkness freaked me out.
You gotta do it. We gotta do it. We gotta be in total darkness. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be in total darkness. That's what it gotta be. I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna harm you for you. You gotta be in total. You gotta cover the fire, bro. This nigga right here texting me talking about how camping going. This nigga probably watching me. We gonna finna do all that, nigga. We finna get this fire out, nigga. We finna get the tracking. We finna get the hunting, nigga. I refuse to be the hunted, nigga. I'm gonna be the hunter. You know what I mean? So this fire going out for sure. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And like I said, camp is off. Camp is done. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Straight freaking darkness.
To the tent and crawled onto my sleeping bag. I stared at my phone, at the texts, waiting for a response which didn't come. Minutes dragged on, and I just wanted the weed to wear off, honestly. I still had my headlamp on, so I tried to continue where I left off in my book. But between being high and my mind being stuck on those texts, I was kidding myself thinking I could read. I decided to just watch YouTube videos on my phone to pass the time. I didn't feel comfortable going to sleep just yet. I was watching some murder documentary on YouTube. I know, a pretty interesting choice considering the setting, and when I least expected it, I got another text. A response to my question before. They responded, "Doesn't matter anymore." My heart started racing all over again.
You got a gun.
I replied back, "How did you know I'm camping?" But once again, no response after this. The anxiety of the situation was weighing heavier and heavier on me.
Got the gun.
Was this a prank by a friend or family member? Or was this one of those people harassing me again? But if it was the latter, how would they know I'm camping? That's the really uncomfortable part. I managed to kill an hour just watching videos on my phone, and I noticed the glow from the fire outside was growing dimmer and dimmer as the fire died down to almost nothing. In the wintertime, without the sound of bugs, the woods are dead silent apart from wind on a windy night. The second a video would stop playing, the silence would become deafening. Usually I'd embrace the peace, but my peace was completely disturbed because of these texts. Something then broke the silence. The unmistakable sound of human footsteps in the snow. They approached my tent until they were only maybe 6 feet from outside the tent. Then the footsteps stopped.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
I had the gun tightly gripped in my hand, ready to turn the safety off. there was suddenly a flash from outside. It looked like someone
Took a
briefly
picture?
shined a flashlight at the tent, or they took a picture. I had my answer soon enough. I heard the person walk away now, before their footsteps slowly faded out to silence, and as I expected to happen in the back of my mind,
Send
my
a
phone
picture.
dinged and vibrated, and that number sent me a photo. The photo was of my tent. Following that was a text that said, "Have a good night's sleep." I can't explain it, but suddenly it felt like I completely snapped out of the remainder of my high, and a bout of adrenaline and confidence overwhelmed me. I unzipped the tent and shot 2 rounds into the air, and the sound of footsteps running away in the snow in the not-so-far distance told me that it worked and scared the person off.
Yeah.
But it also disturbed me even more, that would mean they were still hiding somewhere in the distance, watching. I screamed a threat into the air and climbed back inside my tent. I believe it worked because there were no more texts and no more sounds of footsteps. I was awake for hours after, simply because the occurrence completely woke me up. I felt like I drank 3 cups of coffee. Eventually, I did fall asleep, and waking up to morning sunlight was a huge relief. Whoever followed me there was not ready for me to pull a gun.
Now I be trying to tell you. I be trying to tell niggas, bro. Having that gun, bro. Niggas don't want them problems, bro. You shoot a gun, boom, boom. Oh, then they got a fire. Niggas scared of that fire, bro. Telling you, every nigga should have a fire. That's mandatory, bro. Every nigga should have a gun, gang. You don't have a gun, you're stupid. You know what I'm saying? Every nigga should have a gun. You feel me? Straight up, man. I mean, I don't know what the frick I do, nigga. Like I said, for me, bro, you know, I can beat niggas for sure. I can punish niggas for sure. But having that gun, that right there ensure my safety. I need that gun, man. Need that gun for sure. Cause like I said, I got hollows. You know what I'm saying? So one shot, well, you dead. I ain't gonna catch you. I'm just aim one shot. I'm aiming one shot and I'm shooting to kill. You feel me? Straight, I'm shooting to kill. I ain't really gotta kill you with the hollows. I could just hit you in your stomach or something. You gonna die, just hit you one time. You know what I'm saying? Straight. I ain't aiming for no leg though. I'm aiming for straight stomach, back, and head. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I'm going for the heart. Now I ain't gonna lie to you. Real talk, I really gotta go for the heart though. I shoot the heart, nigga. You ain't surviving, nigga. The heart, nigga. Heart shut down, nigga's over with, nigga. I'm aiming for the heart.
I definitely don't seem the type of person that would own a gun, and I know that. That was my first time shooting that gun since owning it, and in fact, the only time to this day. Whoever had been texting me, harassing me, and apparently stalking me, apparently decided to back off when they found out I had a gun.
Gotta aim for that heart. Can't aim for the head. Nigga survive a headshot. Gotta aim for the heart.
And I haven't been bothered. Still, it was a nightmarish night, and I can't imagine how differently it might have turned out if I wasn't armed.
See what I'm saying, y'all? Him being armed saved his life. Saved his life. Like, I ain't gonna mess with this nigga.
Every year, my family would have a tradition where we'd all go up to northern Michigan for a weekend in October.
Oh my life.
Our Uncle Jim used to own a 4-acre property up there. The house on the property could fit a lot of people, with 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. 2 bedrooms were set up for my cousins and my siblings, so my brother and sister in one room and our 4 cousins in another room. The other rooms were for all of our parents. My Uncle Jim has always been a big hunter and fisherman. He'd go on camping trips specifically for hunting all around the country. My dad has gone camping with him a few times, even though he's an animal lover and would never harm a fly. Part of the 4 acres that my uncle owned was a big chunk of
all
forest.
that animal lover and
he
all that.
marked a line of trees with red paint.
All the little animal lover and all that. Never heard of fly. If you're an animal lover, then why are you eating hamburgers and, you know, the Philly cheesesteak? Animal lover just not gonna eat animals at all. You're an animal lover, right? You know what I mean? Come and keep it real. I'm eating hamburgers. I mean, Philly cheese. I'm never gonna stop eating meat. Tear it up. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. All them little vegans piss me off. I don't know why vegans piss me off. No, I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. They try to make it seem like that nigga eating meat, we eat monsters or something. You gotta realize, bro, back then, gang, and even in Bible time, bro, they was eating meat. God made cows, God made animals, bro. It talks about the unclean foods and the clean foods. You know what I'm saying? Unclean and clean foods, bro. God made certain animals, God put certain animals here to be freaking food, nigga. Back then they was eating meat. Back then they were sacrificing lambs. Back then they were sacrificing bulls and all that, bro. Before Jesus Christ came, they were sacrificing animals, bro. You know what I'm saying? Literally, bro, animals been getting killed. This ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? They act like animals ain't been getting killed. Vegans, you piss me off. You ain't doing God's work, bro. God don't care about us eating meat. You got unclean foods. Look at unclean foods and clean foods. God tell you what not to eat and what you can eat. Like I said, we not supposed to be eating pig. You feel me? I don't eat pork like that. We ain't supposed to be eating pig. I don't even really eat pork. And catch I ain't eating pork, man. I'm really probably never eat pork again. But pigs and all that stuff like that, bro. You want me to look at that, bro? I'm gonna go and tell you the unclean foods. Let me go and educate these vegans. They swear they be doing something. You know what I'm saying? Educate unclean foods. But I'm gonna go and tell y'all unclean foods, man. Unclean animals. You know what I mean? Animals that don't chew the cud or have cloven hooves. You know what I mean? Such as pigs and horses. You know what I mean? Fish without fins and scales, such as shellfish. Animals that walk on their paws, such as weasels and rats. Birds of prey, such as eagles, vultures, hawks, and owls. You know what I mean? Other unclean items. The blood of, look. Okay, the blood of any animal. Do not eat any blood. Shellfish, such as clams, oysters, shrimps, and crabs. So we not supposed to be eating shellfish. We not supposed to be eating clams, oysters, shrimps, and crabs. All other living creatures that creep, leprosy, menstruating women, and dead bodies. You know what I'm saying? So shrimp, you're not supposed to eat. Oyster, you're not supposed to eat. All that, you're not supposed to eat. Clean foods. Man, I'm gonna educate these niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't be tired of this junk, man. You know what I'm saying? What a freak. Clean food. Examples of clean meat include ox, cattle, buffalo, sheep, goat, deer, gazelle, antelope, and mountain sheep. Just to name a few examples of unclean meat, including pig, camel, hare, and rock badger, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? You gotta understand, my mans. You feel me? God put animals here to be eaten, bro. You know what I'm saying? We have authority over animals. Certain animals we're not supposed to eat. Certain animals we can eat. You know what I mean? So all that little vegan and vegetarian, bro, eat meat, bro. You know what I mean? Just don't eat the unclean meat. But eat meat, bro. You good, bro? Yeah. Come in sick. You good, okay? Golly, bro. We tired of these you're killing animals. They've been killing animals, bro. Since all the way back then, they've been sacrificing animals, bro. This been happening, bro. Animals have no purpose but to getting eaten. You know what I mean? Straight like that. You feel me? Some, they don't have a purpose. They have a purpose, and that's to feed us. That's the purpose. We're the top of the food chain. We're animals, nigga. But their purpose, nigga, here is to be eaten. So they will be eaten. They gonna get eaten.
Beyond that was just forest owned by the county. I don't know. The nearest house in that direction was probably miles away.
Hey, stand vegans, bro.
My brother Adam and my cousins Jake and Joe.
Go ahead, eat your little carrots and all that. You know you're not enjoying being a vegan for real. You know you want to eat a little hamburger or something. Go eat your little carrots and your little salad. You only get one life, shawty. Go ahead and enjoy your life, man. All the little carrots and all that little souffle. Shawty, you don't like that junk for real. All that little nasty lettuce.
Came up with an idea at lunch when our dads were talking about hunting. We wanted to go camping in the woods that night. Our dads were on board with it.
Nice little house,
already kind of drunk, so more likely to say yes to stuff. Our moms weren't as on board, but they didn't directly say no. So my dad and Uncle Jim took the four of us into the woods with a tent. My girl cousins and sister were not involved in this. It was just us boys. They led us into the woods, and when Joey, the youngest of us, started complaining that it's too far, they started laughing. That's how our dads are when they're together, especially when they drink. They loved messing with us as kids. Speaking of ages, I'm oldest. At the time, I was around 13. Adam and Jake were around 10, and Joe was around 9. We went beyond the property line, as there was this small clearing in the woods with a bunch of soft green, mossy-looking stuff that my uncle referred to as deer beds, I'm pretty sure. He said it was perfect for a campsite and that he's used it before. My dad and Uncle Jim kind of gave us a half-drunk lesson on setting up a tent. They made us help out so that it wasn't just them doing all of the work. It was a really big tent, big enough for 4 people, especially kids. Once it was set up, we put our sleeping bags inside. We did this during the day because obviously it was infinitely easier than doing it at night. After all of that, we went back to the house and played games outside until dinner time. At dinner, our moms again expressed that they weren't fans of this idea, that we were too young to be out in the woods alone. Our dads insisted that we'd be fine.
How you make men?
My dad making a joke that we'd be close enough for them to hear our screams if something were to go wrong. It wasn't until later on that our dads led us back into the woods to the tent. We all had flashlights and extra blankets since it was cold at night. I also brought a deck of Uno cards for us to
Ain't
play.
nothing cool about that. It's just like in the middle of all this nature. You know what I mean? It's nothing. This junk fire I'm in the video, right? Y'all can't act like this junk ain't fire. Like I'm in the woods. I'm here. I am in the wilderness right now. I am in the wilderness. You know what I mean? I am in the wilderness. I am in here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I was saying, you feel me? Yeah, definitely would never ever go in here right here. You know what I mean? Honestly, I would never go in. You said, would I ever sleep in the woods? Heck no. Heck no, I would never sleep in no freaking woods. This right here is not satisfying to me. You know what I mean? I'm going to sleep in my bed, and that's all I'm sleeping on is in my bed. Look at this, man. We surrounded by things we don't know what's out here. You know what I'm saying? It could be coats out here. It could be anything out here. We just surrounded by it, man. You got to realize one thing about animals. They have dark vision, right? Dark vision, they can see us, but we can't see them. You know what I mean? But heck nah, man. I ain't going out there, man.
When we all got situated in the tent, my dad and Uncle Jim left back to the house. We were suddenly alone in the woods. Honestly, we weren't as close to the house as you think. We were deep enough into the woods where you couldn't see any light from the house. We started playing Uno for a while.
Uno!
Half an hour at least. Playing Uno is actually a really good time killer. It passes the time really well. The tent was lit up by our flashlights arranged in a circle. All was fun and swell until we heard a scream in the distance. It sounded like a girl's scream.
Free?
We all went silent and looked at one another with the
Turn
same
off the
faces.
Lights. Turn off the lights.
I then remembered that Fox's screams sound like the scream of a woman, so I told everyone that. I saw how freaked out Joe was especially, but my statement calmed everyone down. We continued to play Uno. I actually won like every single round. At that point, no one had mentioned the scream again. It was most likely out of all of our minds. But it happened again, and much louder and closer this time.
What the freak?
This time, it sounded a lot more human. We all went silent again.
Cut off the
This
freaking
time,
lights.
even I was freaked out.
Cut off the lights.
Joe looked like he was going to cry. I told everyone to turn their flashlights off.
They go cut off the
We
freaking.
crawled to our respective sleeping bags and sat in the darkness. None of us had the courage to run out into the woods.
Hey,
back to
no,
the
I'm gonna
house.
turn off the freaking
It's
lights.
that fear of running and being chased, and just catching the attention of whatever was out there with the sound of our footsteps. Somehow hiding inside of a cloth tent felt like the safer option, so we waited and waited in silence. We still whispered amongst each other, wondering if it could still be a fox. I was truthful and said, I don't know, hopefully.
Ain't no fox.
I don't know who heard it first, but we all sprung up and looked at one another again when we heard very fast footsteps crunching the leaves approaching the tent. Then they stopped, and there was an ear-piercing, gut-wrenching scream that sounded like a girl or woman's scream. It was right outside the tent,
Freak,
and the
everybody
tent
say
started shaking violently.
Holy crap.
All of us started screaming. Jake and Jim were screaming in fear, while my brother and I were screaming stuff like, get out of the tent. I unzipped the door to the tent, and one by one, we all ran into the woods with our flashlights on, the only reason we could see anything. That run back to the house was the most on-edge moment of my life, like a life or death kind of feeling. We made it to the property screaming the whole way, and our entire family was already outside in response to it. All four of us made it back safely. We explained the screams and the tent shaking, and they were all shocked and horrified based on their reactions. Then I noticed our cousins Jamie and...
Ooh, I know Pops got some heat. I know Pops got some heat from my Dukes. You know what I'm saying? I know he got some heat. She finna be the first one that he look at. You know what I'm saying? I told you not to go out there. I told you not to send my baby out there in the woods. Pops finna catch a handful tonight.
and Christina and my sister weren't outside. I called out my dad and uncle, accusing them of sending one of the girls to scare us, but when he showed us that the girls were already in bed, that's when it was clear. Someone we didn't know was out in the woods. Our dads went out to the woods with a couple of rifles and returned after a while, having found nobody. The next day, we all helped in bringing the tent and other stuff back to the house. Obviously, you can guess that was a one-and-done thing.
It's a beautiful
We never
house,
camped
bro.
out in those woods again. Hell, we didn't even play outside after dark anymore. No kid would after such an experience.
No bat.
My guess is as good as anybody's as to who was outside of our tent and why they were doing what they did.
Yeah, that's a beautiful house, man. Very, very beautiful house. No doubt.
What I'm about to tell you still leaves me to question what is real and what's not. This happened to my dad and I, and even now, 2 years later, I get chills just thinking about it. I know how it sounds. If I were you, I wouldn't believe it either. But I swear to you, every word is true.
I believe you.
My dad
I believe you. Know what I'm saying? One thing I believe him. Know what I'm saying?
and I traveled to go camping at a spot out in the deep country. We enjoyed doing this as it was often a very nice time to get away from real life. This place in particular was a nice spot. Hiking trails, zip lines, a bit touristy, but it has deep history. Native American lands, you know? First night there, it was perfect. Families at other campsites, campfires everywhere, kids laughing. The kind of peaceful night you go camping for. We cooked hot dogs, roasted marshmallows.
Man, y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Hot dogs, man, is something that I don't eat hot dogs like that, but bro, nothing tastes better than a good old hot dog. A chili dog, bro. Shh. That's the best thing a dude can eat right there. Is a chili dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. And like I said, bro, I don't eat hot dogs like that. So when I eat a hot dog, bro, it's just right too, bro. I ain't gonna cap, bro. I'm like, golly. You feel me? 'Cause I don't eat them like that. You feel me? But boy, you put that chili on there with them cheek, with that cheek. Y'all don't get me started up in here before I go burn me some hot dog. You know what I'm saying? You put the chili with the freaking cheese on it with the cat, man, bro. Oh my God. You feel me? Have a little chips on the side with them hot Doritos. Y'all know about them hot Doritos. Hot Doritos on the side, but with a little juicy juice. Oh my God. Make my mouth tingle right now.
Cracked open a few beers and made small talk with the people around
But
us.
nothing better than them freaking hot dog, but you eat hot dogs in a minute, but ain't nothing better than a freaking hot dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't name one thing on this earth ain't better than a freaking hot dog, bro. Fresh warm hot dog with some chili, I don't care. Take that over anything. With some chips on the side, man.
A typical peaceful first night. But the second night is when things started to change.
Hey, man, like 3 of them.
Staff told us we were the only ones in the park. Nobody else kept us sight at first. We were psyched. A whole campground to ourselves. It sounded peaceful. We spent the day hiking, fishing, taking it slow. At one point, we listened to a scary podcast while sitting by the river because
you go get some to eat, nigga. What, you can't go in the kitchen? Nigga said, "Jay, you making me hungry, cuz." Little nigga can't go in the kitchen. Mama said, "Don't go in that kitchen. You can go in that kitchen." Mama said, "Ben, that kitchen there, refrigerator."
Into the spooky atmosphere. We thought we were being funny. By the time the sun started setting, we were feeling good. A little buzzed from the beers, tired in that satisfying way after a long day outdoors. We decided to head to the park's information center to charge our phones and grab some snacks.
That nigga ain't got nothing in the fridge.
Walk back to our campsite. That's when the unease set in. The woods felt different. The air was heavier. The sky had this weird tint, like twilight didn't want to leave. My dad turned to me and said, "Doesn't this feel off? Like we're in some kind of dream?" And he was right, it did. The forest felt endless, stretching out in every direction. My chest got tight. I couldn't shake the feeling that we weren't alone. We didn't say much after that, just kept walking, both of us glancing over our shoulders like we expected to see something lurking in the trees. Back at camp, we stayed close to the fire. We didn't really talk about the weird feeling. We didn't need to. It was like we both silently agreed to keep things normal, pretending nothing was wrong.
It's just that feeling. It's that feeling.
Music.
I understand.
Smoked some weed to try and distract ourselves.
But smoke weed with
Not
pops?
the typical father-son moment you would expect.
Yeah, heck yeah, bro. My mom pops would never smoke weed with me, but what? You know what I'm saying? I just got that type of pop. I'm gonna be the same type of way with my kid. I ain't gonna cap. I ain't smoking no weed with you. I ain't drinking no beer with you. None of that. I ain't, even today, my pops never drink with me. Even today.
But by the time the sun dipped below the trees, we could no longer see what was in front of us, except for the fire. That's when the uneasy feeling had grown into something worse. As we sat by the campfire and roasted some s'mores, I want to say at about 9 o'clock, we heard a noise. It was a bang, as if a tree fell. It came out of nowhere, loud and close. It echoed through the woods from the direction of the river, maybe 100 yards away. We grabbed our flashlights and pointed them toward the sound, but there was nothing. No movement, no glowing eyes, nothing. Bigfoot, we joked, nervous laughs slipping out, but neither of us believed it. A few minutes passed, then it came again, louder this time.
God dang, but what the frick is out here, boy? Talking about like some knocking trees down, like, boy, whatever out there knocking trees down, the giant or something. It's a giant approaching us. What the frick, what? Talking like some big old footsteps of niggas knocking down trees or something.
Believed it.
Frick going on there?
Passed, then it came again, louder this time.
Hey,
Farther off, but the same sound, same weight.
The freak, what?
We shined our lights again, but the forest swallowed our flashlights, allowing us to see only the trees surrounding our tent.
I don't like this,
Then
John.
a third bang, closer.
Whoa.
That's when the fear hit. Whatever it was moving toward us, like it was circling the campsite. Then, not even before we were able to collect our thoughts, the fourth bang happened. About 20 yards away, maybe less. That's when the real fear and adrenaline set in.
Bro, what the freak?
Whatever high I had going from the weed was now long gone.
John gone.
My dad turned to me with his eyes wide. I saw the fear in his face. We agreed to get in the tent. We quickly scrambled and threw the last of the firewood onto the fire, hoping the flames would scare off whatever was out there. Then we scrambled into the tent, leaving everything else behind.
The freak is
I ran
that
inside
sound,
the tent
gang?
and quickly dropped to the ground, lying flat. My dad, moving a little slower, following right behind me. As he was about to get into the tent is when the loudest bang happened. So close, it felt like the ground shook. My dad froze, staring out into the dark. I said his name, grabbing his attention as he stared in shock, then quickly jumping into the tent. He muttered, "It's standing there." "What's standing there?" I asked. "I don't know," he said, his voice trembling. It was like a wall of darkness. He sat by the zipper as I buried myself under my sleeping bag, trying to move as quietly as I could. He sat there clutching the only weapon we had, a small knife. Useless really, but it was all we had. Then came this vibration noise that is still hard to explain to this day. It started low, like a hum, but it wasn't just sound. It filled the air. It was a feeling inside of us.
The heck,
making our-
nigga? Like, bro, what the freak is going on out here, boy? I be trying to tell y'all what the freak, nigga. Like, boy, I be trying to tell y'all, boy, in the woods, boy, stuff in them woods we don't know about either, boy. Trying to tell y'all, but don't look, do not think everything that they say exists. You know what I mean? Like, bro, some things out here that's walking this earth that we don't know exist, man. Some crazy ish going on, man. The freak is this, man? Them loud old freaking footsteps. Now you got vibrations filling the freaking air. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the freak is going on out
It
here,
wasn't
man?
just sound. It filled the air. It was a feeling inside of us,
I'd be scared in
making
the
our
ball,
chest
boy.
tight. I've never felt anything like it. My dad whispered, "You hear that?" I couldn't answer. I just nodded, too scared to make a sound, with the feeling as if we were being hunted. This went on for about 5 minutes as we sat in silence. And then, this other sound. It wasn't an animal, and it wasn't human. It was this guttural, alien-like noise, as I like to put it. It honestly sounded like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. Nothing I have ever heard before. We stayed frozen in that tent, too scared to
Freak
breathe,
out
too
that,
scared
boy.
to move. I had this small mesh window right by where I was laying, but I refused to look outside of it with the fear of being seen, just sitting there trying to control my breathing as my dad still sat there with the knife. And that's when the weirdest thing happened. In the middle of all of the chaos, we just blacked out.
What?
Neither of us remembered trying to fall asleep. My dad was still clutching the knife when we woke up, lying in the middle of the tent. I woke up on my back in a panic, as if something was standing over me. My first thought was to grab my phone to check the time, but it was dead. I asked my dad to check his. Dead too. Both had been fully charged the night before.
I don't know what a freak, boy. I ain't never heard nothing like this in my freaking life. I don't know what type of woods y'all at, boy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never heard nothing like this in my freaking life, bro. What the freak wrong with y'all? What type of weed y'all smoke? Say you was smoking some weed or something? Y'all niggas must have been on some dope. But that could have been real, though. God, nigga must have laced y'all niggas or something. Something happened. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, something happened. But then nigga talking about they feeling vibrations, nigga hearing big old foot. I told y'all, I remember I told this story. And oh my God, I remember when I ate freaking 5 edibles. Oh God. Nigga, I felt like I was out of this world, but I was hearing laughs and everything. Y'all try to tell y'all, but I was like, oh yeah, I ain't doing the edibles no more. I was out of this world, man. I heard a freaking laugh. Nigga was laughing at me. I swear I heard something laughing. Like a but I'm in my room, but I'm hearing the same laugh, bro. Like somebody just taunting me, like it was like a taunting laugh. Like I thought I was gonna die, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ate 5 edible cookies, 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? 5 edible cookies. You want to hit, but I'm talking about you hit me out of nowhere. I was just in the freaking room listening to music. No. That thought just, I just heard it. I was hearing that junk, bro. I was hearing it. You know what I'm saying? I kept hearing the same laugh, and I go outside my freaking house, man. Neighbors outside and all that. I'm trying to act cool, but I'm still hearing the same laugh. I'm hearing that junk in my voice. It's like I was getting taunted, laughing, nigga. I was scared of my freaking mind, nigga. You know what I mean? That junk right there, bro. That junk lasted for like 2 hours, an hour straight. Man, I'm like, nigga, I ain't never eating edibles again, nigga.
Making sure we had them working in case of an emergency.
I didn't think it was gonna be that strong, bro. I ate like 4 edible cookies, bro. I ate like 4 edible cookies, bro.
We stepped outside to pee. As we stood 5 feet from
like
the tent and peed back to back, still scared out of our minds, we saw that it was still pitch black outside. The air was cold and still. The food we'd left on the table completely untouched. The fire we'd stoked before diving into the tent burned down to ash like it was never touched.
I was hot.
The whole place felt wrong.
See, the difference with edibles, bro, and weed, see, when I was smoking, even weed, bro, had me feeling some type of way. That's why I'm so glad I don't smoke no more. I ain't smoked for like a year, bro. I ain't never smoking again. But bro, even this weed started feeling a little wrong. Weed started feeling strange to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the same weed that I was smoking, bro, at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? This weed started starts, you know, like feeling different, gang. I'm like, what the freak, nigga? Like, it just started feeling weird. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is, bro, you know, only up here, you're high up here. But the thing with edibles, nigga, you high from here to there. The whole body, nigga. Whole body affected. Edibles is something that you just should never, don't ever do edibles.
Like, we shouldn't have been there. We waited the night out in the tent without saying much to each other, just trying to get some real sleep.
Bro, you gotta get the freak out.
We packed up in silence, not saying a word until we were in the car. When we finally talked about it, we realized we'd both felt the same thing that night. Watched and hunted, like something was waiting for us to slip up. We told my mom when we got back. She thought we were crazy, said maybe we got drugged or inhaled some weird gas, but it wasn't that. Whatever happened that night, it was real. We both experienced the same thing. To this day, we don't know what it was. We didn't see it, not fully, but my dad came closest. Whatever he saw, it wasn't human, and it wasn't natural. We never heard any similar story like ours. We haven't been back to that camping site since, or even gone camping since. I don't think we ever will.
There we go, right there, you know what I'm saying? But you said, how did I quit smoking, bro? Jesus Christ, man, God himself. You know, if you're